What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the channel. We are still here at Water Dog Outfitters. Check it out. There's boats that we reviewed in other videos already. There's two more over there. We were literally here reviewing 8 boats in the past 3 hours. So we've been cooking. Today we want to talk about budget kayaks. Specifically, where can you save money, right? If you don't want to spend over $600 or even over $1,000 on a kayak, you just want to get out there, get on the water, have a good time. Where can you cut costs when it comes to kayaks? Because we're standing right next to a PWR. This is a $2,000 kayak, and it's meant to have motors added to it, so you're going to add quite a bit of cost to that. We've got a $1,700 kayak. We got a $1,600 kayak. We got all sorts of different price points, but they're all over $1,000. So what if there's a way that we could save some money? We've got 2 examples here. The Pelican Catch mode, which has come up a lot in our comments. People are always telling us, hey, if you just want to save money, 900 bucks or less, usually you can get it on sale, Pelican Catch mode, it's a great option. And we've also got an American-made company here with Crescent offering an ultralight kayak called the Primo at 600 bucks that you can rig out to your fancy. So we're going to do some quick rundowns on the specs of these. However, again, this isn't about these boats per se. We just wanted to call them out as existing. There are plenty of other economy options out there that you guys could definitely go with. And really, we want to say like, hey, here's where it's okay to skimp, if you will, as a kayak company, or for you as a consumer to accept cutting something, right? So let's do this. Let's go through these, and then we're going to get out on the water on them and give you our opinion on these as well. All right. First up, the Pelican Catch mode.
So why are people excited about this? It's because it's like $1,000, and often you can find it for less than $1,000. This got a little fading out of this one, lives outside, but we really wanted to test this boat because people have been asking for it. So
this is a demo boat at Water Dog Outfitters. That's why it's all beat up and stuff. So normally it'll look very clean, very neat.
So where can you expect to see some changes that make this a less expensive boat? Right up front, you'll notice there's no hatch. It has this really, I actually think it's cool. This piece right here, it holds onto a paddle. It can be removable, but it does a nice job keeping all your stuff in front, but it's not hard plastic, so you save a lot of material there.
So an example of where this is saving is, look at the PWR. You have a self-contained hatch that's gonna be waterproof. You're gonna be spending up on that. If you're okay with having an open hatch, that would be a great example of where you could save some money and cut back a little bit on a kayak.
Handles are going to be another thing. A lot of times these will just be riveted in one place instead of being either molded in, or maybe even having like some heavier duty components, or maybe even being like on a latch or a hinge or something like that. The next thing you can expect is power. So this is a paddle only kayak. There's no place for pedals here. You can add a motor, which is a really nice feature, but no opportunity for pedals. So that's going to save you not only weight, but also cost. Next thing will be the track. So this is their track. This isn't a branded like Yakatech brand track. That's going to make it cheaper.
And
also,
that's it.
Yep, that's it. So there's not as much either. If you look at all these other kayaks, there are miles of tracks on some of these other ones. A lot of them are aluminum for the most part. So, you know, again, it still does the job, but it's no less expensive. Cup holders. This is your cup holder. This is actually, in my opinion, better because 1, it's removable. 2, you don't have to worry about water getting there, and 3, it handles big cups and small cups. So it could, that's how Crescent does theirs. I actually like these better, but you know, if you put in a molded cup holder or you don't add cup holders, then you gotta buy one. All of a sudden you talk about more money. Next up is seat. This has 1 seat position. A lot of kayaks these days have 2 seating positions. Now granted,
1, 2, PWR.
They gave you an option here. You can sit on this. It's still not a seat though. So, you know, it's a little bit less padding. It's still a very good seat. So that's where the value comes in. For under $1,000 or at $1,000, you're still getting a nice seat, which is great.
It is a seat. The problem is this is just a little tiny 1/2 inch of foam decking. It's not that comfortable, and you lose your back support.
Totally fair.
But there are tool things that you can use.
But this is an area also, well, we'll get to where you can and don't want to compromise, but your seat is another area of contention. And then as you go back here, you've got the throw and go rudder here. So it just stays in there. It's a little skeg, it works for you. But you know, a lot of times you're gonna see higher end models have different versions. They're gonna be all internal components. They're gonna be maybe under the boat and hidden away. They're gonna retract, that sort of thing.
It'll have a retractor like right there that you can handle from here, versus you can't really get back to this. Once it's down, so you get out of the water. Although not that big a deal because we took it out of the water today and it was pretty easy to just boop, flip it up.
Yeah, super easy. The other thing you'll notice, the way this boat is actually made, if you look at the side of the boat here, but you'll notice here this seam, right? So this is two pieces molded on top of each other. This is a less expensive way to produce a kayak. That's a roto-molded kayak. They're rolling in this around, and it's just a more expensive method of production. It leads to a higher quality product. That being said, it also weighs a lot more. So what are you really getting with some of these? Oh, let's go and look at this kayak.
Let's look at the Primo.
So that's the Primo. This is under $700, $600, which is completely insane. Now the Primo, this is just an example of the least expensive Crescent kayak you can get. When it comes to paddle kayak, Crescent, and right now, as of today, August 2024, is king when it comes to paddle kayaks. They just do a wonderful job. And they have a lot of, there's an ultralight, there's a whole bunch of different cheaper ones, but this is a good example. What are you taking out? Don't worry about anything. You want to hold your paddle? This is how you're going to hold your paddle. You don't need anything up here. You're just going to bungee it down, nice and easy. Static foot pedals, they're back here. I didn't put them in, but they're on here. You do get 2 seat positions with this one, and you get their best seat. This is the same seat that you get on all these other kayaks with them. I've used this a whole bunch. This is an insanely high quality seat, super comfortable. This is the value. Now it does have 2 seating positions. You can move this out a bit. I love the way they do this. And then this can just, a little bit more. Then you can just tighten it. You can get a high seat position. I'll tell you this right now though. I didn't love paddling in this seat position. I would never do this. But being in the low seated position, I was still a little nervous until I got confidence using it. And I was like, this is super nice. So, from a paddling standpoint, it's gonna be really fast, but it's also gonna be light. There's nothing else going on here. There's no padding, there's nothing to get in your way. Your cup holders are, again, this type. You don't need a paddle holder. You've just got these 2 notches right here to rest them as needed. So it's going with simplicity. Now, if you want to put a motor on, you can actually do that. They have this 4-bolt pattern here ready for that, which would be completely insane, and I would like to do for fun. But yeah, you just get the simple bungees in the back. But that's how you get a kayak, and it actually does have notches here for foot steering, so you could theoretically run a foot steering motor on here, no problem.
Swap those out and
run the cabling through here and just get her done. Now,
if you're a crazy person, and hopefully only 5'4",
yeah, it's kind of awesome.
You're gonna be great.
But here's the thing: when you look at both of these boats, there's a couple of things that are actually huge benefits when you go to a less expensive kayak. One, there's just less room and less temptation for you to load more stuff into it, so you're gonna bring less with you, which actually, in my opinion, that's how I like to fish. I like the ultralight mentality.
Throw and go.
Throw and go. And then throw is key. What do we mean by throw? It means these are super light. One hand, you can pick this kayak up, you can hear me talking, I'm not losing my breath, I can walk around really easy. Loading and unloading this boat is so simple. You're not gonna be breaking your back. If you got a car top this, it's gonna be so much better. Same thing goes for the catch. I mean, really, weight-wise, this thing does not weigh much at all.
Grab it from the middle.
Exactly. Grab it from the middle. Again, you can hear I'm not straining. Like, this is not super hard.
That handle's straining.
The handle might be straining.
The handle will die before you do.
But again, when you're looking at these boats, when you get the simplistic design, throw and go is a real deal. So if you got 2 hours to fish, you don't fish a ton, or maybe you're like, look, I just need something simple and easy, less expensive, lighter weight, simpler, you can get out, paddle, and get it done. So those are some of the areas where I feel like it's okay to compromise on front hatches. It's okay to add your own tracks after the fact, save your money, do it at another time. And the big thing though is pedal, paddle, or motor. That's really the thing that's going to drastically raise your price, and then seat quality. That's the thing you're paying for. So really pay attention to the seat, pay attention to the amenities, and then look at the production type, right? Again, this 2-piece design versus the roto design. And then your pedal, paddle, or motor. That's what you really got to look at. Balance those things out, get the biggest bang for your buck.
Pitter patter, let's skedatter. We're gonna paddle these things now. Let's take a look to the water.
I'm in the worst paddling position you could be in.
Look at all this.
Primo. All right, I have just put myself into a, oh God. Oh God. Okay, I hate this. Well, this high position is no bueno. Let's try this again on the low, see how it goes. All right, let's try again here.
Give her a go, bro.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm sitting here in the Crescent Primo. Initially in the high seat position, I was really struggling. it's very tippy in the high seat position. Now I'm in the low seat position, granted with no foot pedals, they're just not in the boat right now. But yeah, I'm feeling it's still tippy, but if you really kind of test it, the secondary stability is actually really strong. So I'm kind of taking back, my initial impression was I didn't even want to do this one. I was like, this is way too tippy. I don't enjoy it. But now that I'm in it and I'm actually paddling, it really, that secondary stability, like when you kind of lean over, it hits like hard. It's like bam, and it is far more stable. So I got to take my initial opinion back. I'm really glad I got out into it, and it is really fast. I'm going against the wind. You can hear my voice, so I'm not like huffing and puffing, and I'm kind of flying here. This is a really fast boat. I'll show you the 180, so we'll just grab here. Extremely maneuverable. You know, in the river, I'd really like to get it on the river to kind of feel that secondary stability, but I think if you're leaving this in a low position all the time, this could be a really nice boat. I think this could be an insane value because you're getting a good paddling platform, molded in stuff, like you can see the front here. It's just, everything's just like sort of molded in for you, cup holders and whatnot. The seat is very comfortable. I've used this seat for a long time. It's in my current Crescent and I have 2 of them. Made in the USA. For this amount of money, made in the USA, it'd be really hard pressed to beat this just as a paddling, standalone paddling platform at like $700. It's a lot better. Tracking. You just hit this, like, it's very tippy in the middle, but once you hit the side, you just got to get a little trust in it, and it's way better. This thing is fast. Holy cow. Let's see if I can scooch you in here. First try. There you go. Piece of cake. Piece of pie, piece of cake, piece of dessert. I am glad I have this bar, because standing up in this would be very difficult otherwise. Ooh. Ah! No, I'm a gymnast. All right, let's see how light this thing really is. Let's try and load it up here. Oh yeah, that is insane how easy that is. Holy smokes.
All right, you guys, testing out the catch mode. This bad boy is the catch mode Pelican 110, listed at $800 here at Waterdog. I will say this one is pretty haggard. Why is it pretty haggard? Because it's been sitting outside at Waterdog Outfitters. So they will not look like this when you purchase them. Keep that in mind, please. Okay, so this particular boat is one that comes up for us a lot as a budget offering. Look at it is full of tree beetles right now, and it also is missing one of the foot pedal thingies, and that's because someone stole it off the Waterdog property. So don't worry about that stuff. I'm not gonna knock it for that at all. Okay, so off the hop, let's take a look-see here. Hi, tree beetle, how you doing? Don't climb in my foot, please. Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of space in here. It feels pretty dang stable. Once again, just call this like a first look at it. Oh my gosh, Paul is tippy testing his Crescent over there. Yeah, overall, pretty dang stable feeling. Not slow. It's got some speed to it, some chutzpah. Lots of different options in terms of like where to put your gear. We got the rod holders, we got the forward facing rod holder. It's pretty neat. Cup holders in there with bungee straps. I mean, it seems pretty well laid out. Pelican, Canadian company, made in Canada. This is pretty dang stable. It's pretty comfy. I don't know how you stand up in it. Okay. Kind of okay. I wouldn't do this. Okay. I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't stand and fish out of this, but you totally can. And then sitting down is like 10 miles away.
I wouldn't. Flip the seat over.
Ah, no! I'm gonna get yelled at for this seat. All right, so what we can do. Oh my gosh. Not easy to do on the water, I'll tell you what. Oh, wow. Okay. That was a little sketch. That was a little sketch. So I have flipped the seat down for those of you screaming at me in the comments. If you guys don't know, Wilderness Systems and Pelican, they use the very similar seat. We showed it as we did our walkthrough, and I mean, I'll be honest, you lose your back support. It is higher up. The seat without a cushion, not comfortable. If you add a cushion, like a kayak cushion to this thing, and you just strap it onto the back, that's where I'm like, okay, cool, that sounds good. I just got to point out, like, the higher seat position is more comfortable while fishing. Paddling, you're going to lose a little bit of your paddling speed and capability. The lower you are, the faster you can paddle. That's just a fact of kayaking. It is a lot more tippy up here, a lot more. But if you wanted to stand and fish, like, this is where you could potentially do that. I can stand up more easily from that high position. I just don't feel as stable on the high seat. And like I said, the high seat is not cushioned. It has a little, like, sea decking, foam decking, whatever on it.
And it was at precisely this moment that the wind kicked up and totally ruined all the audio that we had at this clip. So Jeff got out of the catch mode, we hopped up on the deck, and then we had this wonderful transition where we're now going to tell you our impressions of these boats after paddling them. And we're going to go right now into Jeff talking about the stability of catch mode and then ultimately the Primo as well. Our sincerest apologies, and also we're apologizing really on behalf of Mother Nature, so sorry about that, folks.
Fairly stable. If I had to rate it on stability scale of 1 to 10, 1 is a piece of tissue paper that you're standing on in a lake. This is a 6.8. It is fairly stable. If you're a smaller individual, I'm 6'1", 230. If you are smaller than me, you're gonna be just fine. You're gonna feel fine on it. Am I gonna flip this seat down and stand on this? Absolutely not. So that is what they call their booster seat position. Definitely an option. Would I fish that way all day? Absolutely not. You lose your back support, and over time, that's gonna be fairly uncomfortable. Also, it's just like, this seat's way more comfortable. Just sit and fish, don't stand. All right, you can stand on this. I did that, fairly stable. It's a fairly wide boat, so definitely not gonna knock it with that. All right, so foot posts, foot pegs, whatever we call them, those things are pretty solid. They lock into place. They're actually really easy to move. So you actually just pull it and slide it.
Oh, that's slick.
Yeah, compared to some other kayaks, that's actually simpler. There is next to no track on here. So you're gonna be drilling holes in this hull if you want more track mounted accessories. Again, like, that's somewhere that you can skip, not too big a deal. Overall, plenty of room in the back for your crate, plenty of room up front for junk. If you're looking to get into a fishing kayak and just get out on the water and have some fun with barely anything with you, you could have a great time with this for less than $1,000. I will never knock somebody for that. Look at how I don't knock people for liking what they like. Very demure, very mindful.
Very sweet.
Very sweetsy.
All right, I'm gonna show you guys the Primo here. So really, secondary stability is very strong, but the primary, that's like right when you get into the boat, it does feel tippy. So until you paddle it for a minute, you're not gonna have a lot of confidence, but once you do paddle it, you'll have a ton. So I did get a lot of confidence after a cut, like just 1 or 2 minutes paddling around in it. The seat is as good as advertised, and it's just a simple boat. It just gets the job done. Honestly, for the money, I think you're gonna have a hard time beating a paddle kayak. And you'll notice that both of these are paddles. Again, if you go to the pedal route, the price starts to go up very quickly. And then obviously with the motor, it's going up even faster. So the best value is gonna be a paddle kayak. Now the Primo probably wouldn't be the one I would tell people to go get instantly. I think the CK, I think the Ultralight are really, really good options. I've been in both of those and they're incredibly nice. So for a couple $100 more, yeah, sure. But I think in general, when in summation, this is an insane value for $1,000. You're getting a lot of kayaks for $1,000. Same here, at $600, you're gonna have a really hard time finding a better paddle kayak that just has what you need and is very high quality, again, at the weight. So I think when we talk about value, we're talking throw and go, and these both hit the mark. And those are some of the things that you should be looking for if you're shopping for a less expensive kayak.
We were able to give you our feedback on these two models. There's tons out there. Just go look at some reviews. We'll try to get our hands on as many of those models as we possibly can to demo for you, so we can give you some feedback on that if you're looking for it. Other than that, thank you for watching this video. Definitely consider subscribing, maybe smash that like and all those other cool things so you can see other videos like this on our channel. Thanks, bye. Okay,
Throwing this right in the water. Whack.
I was gonna dive in.
I'll wait.
Okay, let's go.